The 896th edition of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog's got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 and get $50 in bonus funds when you sign up with promo code MMA SGPN.
Hi-ho, degenerinos. Welcome to episode 896 of the MMA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network, dedicated to Mr. and Mrs. Gumby Vreeland, 8 years of wedded bliss as of yesterday. Congratulations to them. I did remind Mrs. Vreeland that I have been married to Gumby for almost 13 years now, maybe even longer than that. So I have a few more years on her, but congratulations to them nonetheless. I'm the Killbilly Jeff Fox, or Jeff the Killbilly Fox, I think sounds better. That is Daniel Gumby Vreeland, the handsome guy on your screen. We got some UFC to cover. Hopefully you didn't miss this. We only posted one episode yesterday. We're only going to post one episode today, but tomorrow you get two of us, and then we're going to take a little break because next week is barren. It's a barren landscape in the MMA realm. Well, we have two episodes locked in for sure. I think the third one's still up in the air, right?
Yeah, we're definitely going to be doing CFFC, and it's a pretty sick CFFC card too. I'll give them their flowers here because that's a good one. And then we're definitely going to do our new Contender Series one, right? Like, 'cause we'll have to do week 4 next week. But then, it's like maybe Shudo. Maybe I can wait and see if the CFFC prelims are good enough. Like, it's pretty sparse. So that's why we're giving you a couple of Road to the UFC ones, which you can go back and watch. Fun. The odds dropped on Road to the UFC.
Yeah, that was my next question. Thoughts?
Damar Pham, a Street Buddha, only -120. I was very excited. Somehow nice. I thought after him cashing as a +500 underdog indominantly, we would see him at like -200, -250, and instead we're getting just a great line on him. So
still sleeping on him.
Yeah, they're still sleeping
on the Buddha.
Sleeping on Street Buddha.
Tell the people what happened when you were interviewing Street Buddha for your other show, Top Turtle.
Yeah, so I actually lied to you guys earlier in the week on all the previous episodes. I said that Jason Blair was going to be on this week. I do have an interview with Jason Blair. It's coming up. But I've pushed it a couple of episodes back because spur of the moment, Street Buddha got back to me, Damar Pham. So if you're a listener of Top Turtle MMA, you can check out that interview with him right now on the latest episode. And he, in the mid-interview, was talking about how after his fights, he likes to go back and look at all the analysts who messed up and didn't have faith in him. And he's like, I found like one who picked me, and he was like, wait, was that you? And he noticed me on the fly and recognized me. So he had listened to the SGPN's MMA Gambling Podcast for his breakdown and recognized me. It was a fun moment.
Yep. Like I said, to Gumby off air, our brand recognition is so high with the Street Buddhas of the world. That's our core audience right there. So it's always fun when they I did get the story of Street Buddha too, and it's exactly good.
It's exactly what you think. It's he got famous right, or he started doing MMA right around the time Street Jesus was famous, and he just looks more like Buddha.
Yep, awesome. Fighters have always been cool when they have watched our show, even when we pick against them. They seem to have been,
or when we call them fat,
exactly. The
one of my favorite interviewees is we got to meet because I called Stephen Asplin a sloppy fatty, and he said he just used to be fat, and now we have a budding friendship.
Exactly. All right, so Damar Pham, those odds are good. Anything else surprising about the Road 2 odds or the UFC fights odds that dropped for that event?
I was a little bit surprised on, we both said maybe Bruna Brazil is an underdog because we personally didn't like Ming Shi in her first fight, but we thought the public would really like that head kick. I saw it posted, Bruna Brazil -300. I mean, I'm picking her still, but that feels a lot less playable, doesn't it? She was an underdog. It was like a Brinks truck situation. Back that baby up and dump it all out. But, knowing that she's -300, like maybe even not, feels kind of too high to even consider a lock of the week. And then I thought the odds in favor to Mendembro being that Saturn was taking that fight on short notice, but I think the books got that one right. Saturn as a slight favorite, even though. So Yeah, those were kind of surprising. The road to the UFC ones were pretty much right about where I expected them to be.
Yeah. I locked this in on Brazil at minus 250, so a little better.
Nice.
And I got minus 130 for Tumen Demirel. You're at plus 113 for Sai Turn. If
it opened with him as a dog.
Oh yeah, is he not a dog anymore?
Oh no, he's minus 135 at the time of recording.
Yeah, you got him as a dog, dude.
Oh, okay. Well, unfortunately, in real life, I did not. As I logged in, he was
in real life. Too bad.
Yeah, and then
I just checked about around noon, 1 o'clock on Wednesday. So maybe some books you can get.
Yeah, it might be flipping and flopping. Keep an eye on those odds, then, guys.
Yeah. Obviously, you're gonna want to use my bookie though, regardless. All right, we probably should dive into our 7-fight card here. We can do more preamble on tomorrow's episode. Reminder though, before we get into it, First Gambling Podcast is giving away a $1,000 circa NFL future bet with their phrase that pays. You can submit your phrase now at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/phrase, PHRASE phrase. All right, let's dive into her UFC Shanghai, aka UFC Fight Night Walker versus Zhang, Shanghai, China. This coming Saturday, 3 a.m. Eastern is the start time right now. So I think a lot of you are going to be up, and I guess a lot of our friends aren't sober as it is when they're watching fights, but I think 3 a.m. one will definitely be the case here. That is the portion that we're talking about today, because we're talking about the prelims. 7-fight prelims start at 3. The main card starts at 6 a.m. ESPN Plus for both of the fights. Shanghai Indoor Stadium, if you're on that side of the world and want to watch it. Maybe Burr will be going to it. Our friend Burr, I think, he's I can't remember where he is. Singapore. He tends to go to cool events in Asia. So let's break it down, starting with any overall thoughts on the prelims.
Pretty fun. Yeah, pretty fun. That's it.
Yeah, we talk about odds and whatnot once we actually dive into the fights. All right, let's dive into the first one. It is at 205. That would be light heavyweight. Diyar Nurgozhay versus Uran Satybaldiev. Nurgozhay is from Kazakhstan. Satybaldiev is from, I want to say Mongolia, but it's not. He's from Kyrgyzstan.
Yeah.
Kyrgyzstan, yeah. And he wears cool hats. I should have known that. 3 5-minute rounds. Let's break it down. Nurgozhay, 10-1, 6 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been submitted once. 0-1 in the UFC. Got submitted in his very last fight. He missed weight as well in that fight. 1-0 in Contender Series. Regional champion. He's fought at 185. 3 years younger than Satybaldiev. Based off of their very small sample sizes, 1 fight for each guy. He's got better striking stats. He's more active landing strikes, and he has better grappling stats than Satybaldiev. But he did get upstruck in his debut by 0.27 strikes per minute. He's at plus 140. Satybaldiev is gorilla, 9-1, 6 knockouts, 1 submission, never been finished in a fight. He's 0-1 in the UFC. He lost his last fight as well. So both guys are coming off their first career loss. He was the LFA champ, a regional champ. He's fight at 185. And then last fight, he took short notice at heavyweight against Martin Buday. That was his loss. 2 inches taller than Nurgozhay, 5 inches reach on him. He got outstruck by Buday by 1.47 strikes per minute, minus 140. And I am a gracious host, so Gumby gets to go first.
Yeah, I'm going Satybaldiev.
Yeah, he impressed us.
Yeah,
well, he impressed us going into the fight, and then he was even better.
I was already a fan from the LFA days. In fact, I think I picked against him in an LFA title fight then he just made me look absolutely silly. And then that fight with Martin Buday, I know we both picked Buday in that fight, but it was one of those ones where we're like, man, it's too bad these guys aren't the same size, because Satybaldiev might give him trouble. And now in retrospect, how good is Buday then? Over and over and over again. And granted, he's not in the UFC anymore. He is fighting Will Fleury though, which is kind of fun. I can't wait for that fight to happen in October. But yeah, he hung with Martin Buday. He threw his hands. He got everything going. We know he's got good wrestling and good ground game. And then I didn't like Nurgozhay coming off of Contender Series. I already thought perhaps he was being overrated because he's got some fun kickboxing and stuff like that. But the guy he was fighting kind of didn't look himself in there, look kind of gun shy and all kinds of things like that. And then in his next fight, he's getting picked apart by Brenton Hibiero. And then weirdly submitted from top side control. On Brenton Hibiero, right? He had top side control. Brenton Hibiero grabs a Kimura, turns him over, and submits him. And I'm just like, that guy's not even good at jiu-jitsu. That's a kickboxer. A kickboxer just served you on the mat. I can't believe these odds are as close there. Negative 140 on Salty. I'm all over that.
Yeah, good number. Hint, hint. I think it's a pretty good number on Satybaldiev. So yeah, he's definitely my pick here, especially now that he's back in his normal weight class with a full camp and all that good stuff. So we will see the real. I guess we kind of saw the real him in last fight. Regardless, he just
it was just a size issue.
A gun.
More than
anything.
Yeah,
exactly. All right. Let's break down the next one. We're going to bantamweight. Rongzhu. He is from China. Su Young Yu. He is from South Korea. Let's go. I hope our man Jong is excited about these cards this weekend. It's a lot of South Koreans on the fight card. We'll tell you about Long first. 27-9, 5 knockouts, 9 submissions. He's been knocked out 3 times. 1-1 in the UFC. He's won 5 of 6, though, including his last fight via TKO. He went 2-0 on the road to UFC. 0-1 in Contender Series. Remember who beat him on that show, Gumby?
Long Xiao was beat by Olivier Murad? No.
Let me see. Nope, you're right. Nope.
No, I don't know. I can't remember.
Christian Quinones.
Okay.
All right. No memory at all of that, eh?
I do remember when it was. It was 2011, episode 10.
That's crazy. you are wacky for knowing that.
I'm sorry for knowing that.
That's okay. Your wife was just talking to me about having a weird memory. She remembers exactly the date that you contacted me to start writing with us.
There you go.
You guys are our perfect combo. Multiple region championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get our merch, get all our good stuff. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. 0-1 in one championship, the biggest promotion in the world. For now, 4-1 in custom fights, which could be anything, especially on the Chinese regional scene. Who knows what they were? 2 inches taller than you, not me or you, because we're tall, but 2 inches taller than you, 5 inches of reach advantage on him, 3 years younger. He's 3 times more active landing strikes than you is. He's outstruck his opponents, and I guess we got a pretty good sample size for him. We got 5 fights. He's outstruck his opponents by 1.13 strikes per minute. He's at plus 120. Jiu-Jitsu, good name. 15-3 with 2 no contests, 3 knockouts, 5 submissions. Always remarkable fighters that can have multiple no contests. That's a real skill. He's been knocked out once, so he's durable. He's 2-0 in the UFC. He's part of a 4-fight waiting streak. 2-0 on the road to UFC, and the champion of the season he was on. Multi-region championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get a shirt, get a merch, get all the good stuff. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. He's fought at 145 and 159. The revered weight class, 2014 Pro MMA debut, better grappling stats than Long. Not real surprise there. He's outstruck his opponents by 0.56 strikes per minute, minus 123. I looked long and hard, no pun intended there, but you is my picker. I always make sure, especially on close odds, that I'm not missing something on the dog here. But I think you is just about as good as on the feet as Long, and he's way better on the ground. And he's on a nice little roll here. So pretty decent number. Give me Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, and the piece for me that like makes me like Jiu-Jitsu is to your point. I think they're maybe roughly as skilled on the feet, but I think you is more conservative and smarter in the way that he fights on the feet. Because if you watch that fight with you if you watch that last fight for Long Xiao, it's like he keeps like crashing into close range and getting really frantic. And I think it's because he didn't want to get taken down. And ultimately he does get taken down and gives up some positions and stuff like that. And to a fighter who ultimately I think is a worse wrestler than Jiu-Jitsu, I've doubted Jiu-Jitsu for a couple of fights because I question whether or not he's got the wrestling, but he's really shown up with it the last few fights. It's like, it's not just a Jiu-Jitsu game. It is the wrestling. In fact, he's won 4 in a row and he doesn't have a submission in any of those fights either. So the wrestling and control is playing up, and obviously he's got the threats too. And maybe one of those submission comes finally, but I think Long Xiao is going to accidentally find himself in too many clinches because he keeps slamming into range. So give me Jiu-Jitsu.
A classic fighter mistake, it seems. All of them tend to do that. Crash, especially if your opponent's hurt, make sure you crash into the guy and get
then just shoot a double. Definitely
shoot a double.
Don't throw any more strikes for Christ's sake.
Lie on top, let him have a rest and get better. Like a football team, if you're killing them on the run, make sure you start doing nothing but passing. Yeah, exactly. All right, before we get any more winning picks, we actually got some pretty decent lines on the first 2. MyBookie.ag. We are brought to you by MyBookie.ag. My bookie is your place to bet on every sport, including MLB, WNBA, golf, and of course, football futures. My bookie accepts customers from a ton of locations. They have easy deposit and lightning fast payouts using crypto. Check out all the UFC lines there. Road to UFC. Basically every promotion we cover, you can check there. We'll see next week, though. Next week, we may be struggling to find a promotion, but we'll see. Head to mybookie.ag, use our promo code MMASGPN. You get 100% bet back bonus up to $500. Terms and conditions apply. That's mybookie.ag, promo code MMASGPN. And Rhythm, RITHMM. Guess what, everybody? The NFL is back on Rhythm. Last season Rhythm was 76-66 against the spread and 22-19 on over-unders. They really shined on player props. For instance, 10-5 on Baker Mayfield's props, which is a 25% return on investment. Rhythm also has MLB, WNBA, golf, and college football. Go to the site today and start building your NFL models for week 1. Do you have any models built for the NFL, or do you have anything you've found on Rhythm recently that you like, Gumby?
I'm always digging into the NFL. As I shouted, was it last episode I shouted out that you should definitely take the Cowboys and the points? I'm standing by that one. But if we want to get a little bit fancier, we want to get into some of the week 1 stuff. Let's see, who do I like in week 1? I would take I'll take the Dolphins to cover. Right now they're getting 2. And they're playing the Colts. The Colts are pretty terrible, and they just named Danny Dimes as their starting quarterback, which seems like a bad move. So I'll take the Dolphins getting 2.
Yep, there you go. Get your 7-day free trial today. Check out everything Rhythm has to offer at sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm, RITHMM. Gumby's become a WNBA expert thanks to them, too. So yeah, they got it all. All right,
Cameron Brink unders.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, she cannot score. She plays some defense, but she cannot score. All right, we're going up a weight class. We're going to featherweight now. Yizha, he's from China. Westin Wilson from the United States of America. Pretty good American name there. Let's break it down. Were you surprised by how wide these odds were, Gumby?
Absolutely.
Before we break it down?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was like, okay. I was like, all right, I guess I'm going with this person. But then I see the odds like, whoa. All right, Wilson, 17-9, 5 knockouts, 12 submissions. So he's finished everyone. He's been knocked out 4 times. Sorry, knocked out 3 times. Maybe I'm foreshadowing. Knocked out 3 times, submitted 4 times. He owes us rounds. 1-2 in the UFC. So he's 1-2 over his last 3, 4-2 over his last 6. He won his last fight via submission. That was over a year ago, though, June 2024. He went 1-0 in Bellator, RIP. He's fed at 135, 155, 170, 2014 pro MMA debut. 1-0 as a pro boxer. He's 6 inches taller than Yizha. He's got 2 inches of reach advantage on him. He's been outstruck in the UFC by 4.04 strikes per minute. That may explain why he's losing fights. Plus 764.
764 right. It's up
yes.
to.
Yeah, it's actually I think it's come down a bit. I had Yizha at a higher number than I'm going to tell you in a sec. Yizha is 25-5, 5 knockouts, 14 submissions, knocked out once, submitted once. That makes him durable. 0-2 in the UFC. Yet the number 3-1 over his last 4, 6-2 over his last 8. He lost his last fight. 5-2 road to UFC. A regional champion. He's fed at 135, 155. 2015 pro MMA debut. He's 8 years younger than Wilson. Better striking stats, more active landing strikes, better grappling stats. He's been outstruck, but just barely by 0.03 strikes per minute. Minus 1050. It was in the 1100s last when I first checked this number. Are you going with Wilson, Gumby?
I'm going to go Westin Wilson. Yeah.
Right. And like, see if you can sell me, because this is a very chalky card.
It's a pretty chalky card. I agree with you on this. Hear me out, though, on the Westin Wilson side. So, because nobody would hear me out on the Tim Elliott side last week, but this is a Tim Elliott play for me. Granted, it's at 3 times the odds of Tim Elliott, but still, Westin Wilson, we all wrote off, right? Like, we were like, this guy is trash. He doesn't belong in the UFC. A lot of people were like, right? Like, that's pretty much what we said. But that's what we said after his first 2 fights, right? Like,
but look who he fought.
He fought Joanderson Brito and Gian Silva in those fights. And, like, in those fights, he got badly outstruck. Well, like, no kidding. Like,
go figure.
It's 2 little spark plug Brazilians who throw absolutely mad on the feet, right? Like, they're crazy. Yep. And so then you turn it around, and in his next fight, you give him somebody who, again, likes to strike. I don't know why they kept doing it to him, but again, likes to strike, but had maybe a touch worse takedown defense. He takes his back and he submits him, or he wound up in mount for a little while, and then he, wound up with a triangle armbar, and, like he rotated through a bunch of positions, but he looked good pretty much throughout the fight, stayed safe on the feet, got a body lock, got a takedown, scored some control, wound up finding his submission. Look at Yizha's last fight. He looked awful on the mat. You know, like he fought, and granted, it was Gabriel Santos, a guy who, you know, I have a level of faith in Gabriel Santos. I like Gabriel Santos, but like the takedowns for Santos weren't like impressive. He just like ducked under and got something, you know, and once he was on top, he had like minutes of control time every single time. And at the end of the fight, it looked like Yizha had no idea what to do next. He got his back taken in a body triangle, and he was just kind of like there for the rest of the fight. And like, sure, like, are we taking a little bit of a gamble here because Westin Wilson looks a little bit worse on the feet than Gabriel Santos obviously does? Sure. But like, if he can get him down, I think that the grappling disparity is huge. And I'm not one of those guys who's like, yeah, but he trains with, because you don't just become the people you train with. Yeah. But he is like best friends with Wonderboy. Like him and Wonderboy are like guys. You have to imagine like Wonderboy is helping him with range and his hands are going to get better and those types of things. Like if there is an area he's going to improve, it's his defensive striking is my guess. So all I need is him to stay safe and to get in on a takedown. I think he can sub him. So yeah, give me Westin Wilson, and I am going to be very enthused to find that Westin Wilson by submission line at some point in time. Like, dude, what is it going to be, 1,500? You know, you can give me that at 1,500 later in the week. Yeah, I'm going to be about that too. Give me Westin Wilson.
Yeah, I'm going to go with him too. Surprisingly,
look at that! I talked you into a 764 underdog. That is my win for the week.
Yeah, not just because Wilson by submission plus 1674. I see it.
It's already there. 16.
Yes, sir. So anyhow, I'm taking him not just because of what you said. I'm not paying minus 1050 on Yizha. First of all, who's beaten no one really. He hasn't looked that good in the UFC. And like you said, Wilson's got that strength of schedule. He's fought killers in his 2 fights that he lost, and he's massive. He's like a half a foot taller than Yizha, and as you said, a better grappler. So what more do you want? He's at plus 764. You don't need a heck of a lot of reasons to pick him, right?
And if you've got some, like, all the better,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. All the better, exactly. So let's do it. I'm always looking for, like I said, this card, even for Jeff Chalks, is a little chalky. So I think this one's worth taking a swing on. It's not crazy by any means. Let's go to 185 next. Michel Pereira. He's gradually moving down the cards, isn't he? He's at 185. He's
not gradually. Didn't he main event his last fight?
Yeah, a lot actually. Yes, sorry, not gradually. And this is like not even a massive UFC fight night, and he's on the prelims. Not that fight placement always matters, but yeah, he's fighting Daukaus, who's making his return. He's from the United States. The Darce Knight. The Darce Knight is Daukaus' nickname, which is very good. He's 15-4 with 1 no contest, 1 knockout, 11 submissions. So you know what he's trying to do. Hopefully he's trying for a bunch of leg locks like that the Indian fighter last night on Contender Series, which is really annoying. Leg locks don't work, dude.
They were pretty fun leg locks.
I know, but they don't work. At this level, leg locks don't work. They rarely work. It's like you're jumping gillies.
Tell that to Walter Walker.
Yeah, occasionally they work. That's the thing. That's the exception to the rule. But anyhow, back to the Darce Knight. He goes for Darce's, not Nibar's. 15-4, 1 no contest, 1 knockout, 11 submissions. Like I said, he's been knocked out twice. Short notice re-debut to the UFC. In his first stint, he went 2-4 with 1 no contest in the UFC. Since then, he's won 4 straight fights and 5 of 7. 2 straight wins via finish. Multiple regional championships on his
mantle.
Correct. Get our shirt, get our merch, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store. And I believe he's the current CFFC champ, or I guess he's probably relinquished it.
Middleweight champ.
Yeah, middleweight. Yep, relinquished it at this point. Used to fight at 195, or he did for at least 1 fight. 1-0 Contender Series, 2 inches of height, 3 inches of reach over Pereira. He's outstruck his opponents in the UFC by 0.28 strikes per minute. Better grappling stats than Pereira, plus 230. Demolidor is 31-13 with 2 no contests, 11 knockouts, 9 submissions. He's been knocked out twice, submitted once, 9-4 in the UFC. He's lost 2 straight. Before that, he won 8 straight. Kind of reached his level, and then now he's moving on down. Used to fight at 155 and 170, missed weight at 170 and at 185. Regional champ, 2011 pro MMA debut. Better striking stats, more active landing strikes than Daukaus. He's outstruck his opponents by 0.17 strikes per minute, minus 253. Like I said, Pereira kind of reached his level, but yeah, his level is still above Daukaus on short notice. Going to be way better on the feet, and Pereira can grapple too. Probably don't want to grapple with the guy that looks for submissions nonstop, but I think he's going to batter him on the feet. A guy who's coming in on short notice who flunked out of the UFC already.
Yeah, and let's talk about the reason he left the UFC, right? It was the 24% takedown accuracy on a guy who pretty much needs a submission to win, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like he's not beating anybody in the UFC, or at least anybody the level they're giving him regularly on the feet, right? Yeah. And despite being taken down 11 times in his last fight or something like that, like Pereira is actually a pretty decent defensive grappler. He had a little bit of trouble with Tristan Connolly when he did 17 backflips and got tired, and he had a little bit of trouble.
16 would have been okay, but the 17th one, that was it.
Always the 17th backflip that gets you.
There's our title.
Yeah, but anyway, like that Connolly fight notwithstanding, and then like getting taken down by Fluffy Hernandez. But outside of that, like he's powerful. He does the right things in defense. He's got a little submission game himself, especially if he can hurt you. Like, he's all of the things that kind of like forced Kyle Daukaus out the door in the first place, being a strong middleweight who forces you to stand and trade and is just better than Daukaus there. You always kind of have to worry, especially with him flying halfway across the globe, if he's just going to tire himself out, have a weird weight cut, and then do like somersaults on the way into the cage. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I'm still picking him. It's not deterring me from picking him.
Yeah. Another decent. We're getting decent numbers pretty much on all the fights we're picking here, right? This is not a bad number.
Not bad.
Yeah, I know he's Pereira could be shot, but Kavanagh is not the type of guy who's going to prove that he's shot. I don't think so.
No.
All right, we're in on that. We're going to 155 next. Rongzhu from China, Austin Hubbard from the United States. Another good American name. Let's break it down. Tell you about Thud. My favorite nickname. It's in quotations too because it's like the noise that Hubbard makes. Thud. He's 16-9. 5 knockouts, 2 submissions. He's been submitted 3 times, so he doesn't go thud. He doesn't fall down and go thud too often. 4-7 in the UFC over 2 stints. He has lost 2 straight. He's only won 1 of 4 and 3 of 7. He went 2-0 the Ultimate Fighter. He was the LFA champ. Also, he has multiple region championships on his.
Man. Correct.
Get our shirt, get our merch, sportsgamblingpockets.com/store. We should be getting so many sales after this episode. Hubbard used to fight at 170, 2015 Pro MMA debut. An inch of height over Rongzhu. He's outstruck his opponents by 0.05 strikes per minute. Plus 213. Rongzhu is Little Yama versus Thud. That's a pretty good matchup. He's 26-6, 15 knockouts, 6 submissions. He's been knocked out once, submitted 4 times. 2-3 over the UFC over 2 stints as well. He's won 5 of 6 though, including his last fight. 3-0 on the road to UFC and won the championship. Missed weight twice at 155. Regional champ. He's fought at 135 and 145. He's 9 years younger than Hubbard. More active landing strikes, better grappling stats. He's outstruck his opponents by 0.39 strikes per minute. He's at minus 240.
I'm actually going to roll the dice on Hubbard here.
You're a Hubbard guy.
Yeah, I like Hubbard. He's got good grappling. You kind of look back at the Rongzhu wins, and like in his last 4 fights, he's been taken down 7 times. He hasn't scored a takedown himself. And I know, like on the, when you read off the stats, you're like, he's got better grappling stats, but it's certainly not lately, right? And not against high level opponents. Because that, of course, includes his road fights and all that kind of stuff as well. Mm-hmm. And it takes into account the kind of ugly losses Hubbard had before he left and came back to the UFC. And he's looked pretty good since coming back to the UFC. He had that really close fight with Markel Medeiros. That was a split decision. I don't know necessarily that he won it, but he definitely won the second and was close in the third. And if you look at the wins that Rongzhu has had, it's a lot of stuffing wrestlers and wearing them out. Right, Cody Steele had nothing left in that fight for some reason. He tired himself out and he wasn't shooting takedowns. And same thing with his win over Shinhara Uchi. And Shinhara Uchi scored some takedowns, but then kind of got tired and didn't have anything to answer on the feet. What if we have a guy with better cardio, right? Because Hubbard is, notoriously really good cardio. His cardio is what buckled Max Roshkoff. Remember Max Roshkoff, one fight in the UFC, quit on the stool. His cardio is that already, right? He is so tough. And then when you add in can wrestle a little bit and do that, I think he's kind of the right matchup to give Rongzhu a little bit more work there. So I'll take Austin Hubbard here as a slight dog.
I'll take Zhu. I think this one is a bit of a toss up. He's so much younger though, and I really don't know how much Hubbard has left. And neither guy's really has beaten anyone. I can't really be like, oh well.
He beat
beating better opponents, but
Yeah, it's like maybe Shin Harauchi is his best win.
Yeah, but both guys' resumes are kind of in. But yeah, I think I'm going to stick with.
It'd look a lot better if that split went to Austin Hubbard. Then you could just be like,
of course,
ooh, Austin Hubbard beat Markel Medeiros.
Yeah, exactly. What more do you want than that? All right, before we dive into more plays, I'm taking Xiao, if I didn't make that clear. So we have to differ in at least one. So there you go. I guess we don't have to, but we're going to. This tell about Circa Millions, Circa Survivor. We do not differ on this. The world's greatest sports book, which of course is Circa Las Vegas. They are hosting the world's biggest pro football contests, which are Circa Millions, Circa Survivor, and Circa Grandissimo, with over $21 million in guaranteed prizes. You can't call yourself a true degen if you're not competing in the Circa football contests. Plus, come hang out with SGPN at Circa Contest Weekend, which is coming right up tomorrow, August 21st to 23rd, for an amazing weekend, including live shows and open bars. Plus, you get 15% off a stay at the Circa with promo code SGP15. Contests are open to everyone. Sign up in Nevada and play from anywhere with the help of SGPN's official proxy. So go to footballcontest.com, use promo code SGP to get $50 off your proxy fees. And Underdog Best Ball Mania is happening all summer long, giving away $15 million in prizes, including $2 million to first place. No waiver wire, no arguments about trades. Best Ball is the best way to play fantasy football. Underdog also is a great place to play pick'em, where you can win up to 500 times your entry. Gumby's going to help you win right now, I bet.
Yeah, I'm going to go, if you're getting this into your ears before Wednesday night here, we got the night game with the Reds facing off with the Angels. I'm going to take the higher than on Nick Martinez's strikeouts. It's set right now, the projection, 3.5. And granted, he's not got a lot of strikeouts here in the month of August, but it's the Angels who strike out more than anybody in the majors. So give me the higher than on Nick Martinez's strikeouts.
Yeah, that's a play I play often. Angels striking out, because they strike out a lot. It can't be said. Underdog has got a brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 and get $50 in bonus funds when you sign up with the code MMASGPN. So underdogfantasy.com, MMASGPN. Maybe I should take that Martinez play, because I've been striking out on my strikeout props recently. Pun intended.
Not me.
All right,
Not me.
Yeah. No, good. See, just follow Gumby. Gumby is the way.
And rhythm.
All right, we're going to a flyweight. This should be a fun one. We've talked about some fun ones already, but this is a fun one too. Flyweight, because it's gonna be fun. Loner Kavanagh from China, Charles Johnson, United States of America. Let's break her down. Johnson, inner G, INNER.
Love it every time.
Of course. If you want to know why, you can go into the archives of Top Turtle MMA. Search for his episode. 17-7, 7 knockouts, 3 submissions for Johnson. He's never been finished himself. 6-5 in the UFC. He's won 4 of 5 and 4 of 8. He did lose his last fight. He was the LFA champ. He's fed at 135, 1-5 as a pro boxer. 3 inches taller, 3 inches reach advantage over Kavanagh. He's more active landing strikes. He's outstruck his opponents in the UFC by 1.12 strikes per minute, plus 175. Kavanagh, 9-0, 4 knockouts, 1 submission, 2-0 in the UFC, 1-0 contender series. He's 8 years younger than Johnson, better striking and grappling stats. He's outstruck his opponents in the UFC and the contender series by 0.31 strikes per minute, minus 200. This is one I had to think about for a while, because Johnson has been surprising. It took him a little bit to get rolling in the UFC, and then once he started rolling, he really started rolling. But now he lost his last fight. But the main thing here is not only is Kavanagh way younger, which makes a difference, I think, at flyweight. He's just so fast, and he hits so hard. I think
that win on Contender Series that you mentioned, do you remember who he beat?
Yeah. Antoine Ho knocked him out.
That's
broke our hearts. Well, not really, didn't really break our hearts, because we like both these guys. But
and Antoine Ho's back. He's on next week or the week after.
Yeah, so I think speed and the power, and obviously the youth, is going to be an issue. I don't know if he's going to be able to finish Johnson, because Johnson's a tough SOB. But I'm picking Kavanagh.
Yeah, I'm taking Kavanagh too. Same reasons you said: speed, power. Yeah. And I'm going to add one too. Mm-hmm. I actually think he could wrestle Charles Johnson if he wanted to. Like if he was like, let's take the Charles Johnson win over Joshua Van, which in retrospect looks like a fever dream, right? Like Charles Johnson started to have moments on the feet in that fight. Like he started to tag Johnson or Van, and Van just like needed a second to like recoup, and he couldn't get one because Johnson just pours it on you. I think even if that were to happen in this fight, Lanier Kavanagh hits a double. Because Lanier Kavanagh can wrestle. We've seen it before. Mm-hmm. We've seen him do it in I don't think in the UFC yet, but like in Cage Warriors, he wrestled really well. Was it Sean Marcos da Silva? He wrestled well. And, I think that alone is enough for me to be like, like the moment that Charles Johnson needs, I think he could have it and it still wouldn't be enough because there's a backup plan there for Kavanagh. So yeah, I love the speed of Kavanagh, love the strength of Kavanagh, love the KO power. There's so much to like about this kid. So yeah, I'll take Kavanagh.
Not to give away any prop plays tomorrow, do you think Kavanagh can get him out of there, or do you think this is going to go to a decision?
Man, I don't like suggesting that anybody can get Charles Johnson out of there.
Yep.
Like that dude is just he's so tough. I wouldn't hate a Charles Johnson plus 3.5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
like
true.
that dude could steal around in like the weirdest way and not get knocked out and probably cash pretty nice for you too.
Yep, that's a good play. I was looking Kavanagh by decision, and it's really not worth it. It's still in the negatives. It's barely better. It's negative like 130 or something. So
so if you were going to play that, play guess that Johnson wins a round. If that's how you wanted to play it.
Yep, I like that. Even Kavanagh unanimous decisions minus 110, so that's barely worth the risk too. So, all right, we're both in on Kavanagh. We're going to the main event. Another Chinese fighter, not surprising because that's where they are putting this event on. Maheshate. He still lists as Maheshate Yizha, but he just goes by Maheshate now. He's
the little graphic we got here says Maheshate. I think because they take the Chinese names and just double them weirdly.
Oh, right. Yeah. I was thinking you enter these yourself, but you don't. They
no.
Auto.
The fine people at nextmma.com, if those of you are wondering, provide it all for free. So, check out them, Patreon, their sites.
Yeah, we should shout them out more often, and they have a good service because they were making it very hard for Gumby to put Waldo Cortez Acosta's name in there, so they know what's up, right?
I think that was our streaming service more than anything.
Oh, okay, well it's fine. The streaming service knows what's up. All right, Gage Young, another good strong American name. Maheshate, we'll tell you about first. 10-4, good buddy. He's got 4 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been knocked out once. So he's durable at the very least. 2-3 in the UFC. He's won 1 of 4, 8 of 11, which sounds a lot better than 1 of 4. Lost his last fight. Nope. Missed weight before at 155. 1-0 on Contender Series. He's fight at 170. 3 inches taller than Young. An inch of reach over him. He's been outstruck. Must be the end of the episode because Jeff's starting to malfunction there. He's been outstruck by 1.78 strikes per minute plus 110. So we got it. Pretty much a pick 'em. G Money, GEE space money. 9-3, 6 knockouts, 1 submission. He's been submitted once. He's durable as well. So Yanni's going to take this one to end inside the distance. He did that with the main event last night, I think, in Contender Series. Did he not? I think I saw that.
Yeah, I mean that tracks. But to be fair,
of course it went.
Exposito was tough as nails, man. I don't know how he took that beating. 150 strikes in 15 minutes is crazy.
Maybe we'll talk more of that to kick off tomorrow's show. This one's gone long enough. All right, G Money 9-3, 6 knockouts, 1 submission. I told you he's been submitted once. 0-1 in the UFC. Loss over his last 3. 4-2 over his last 6. 0-1 in Contender Series. Speaking of that, do you know who he beat?
Yeah, who beat him? Yeah, he lost to Keelan Salkeld.
Yep, good loss. Used to fight at 145, 165, 175. 1-0 as a pro kickboxer. More active landing strikes than Maheshate. Better grappling stats as well. He's been outstruck. Almost as bad as Maheshate, minus 1.7 strikes per minute. He's at minus 114, so pretty much a toss up, and you get to finish it off for us.
Yeah, I'm going Gage Young. It's not even that hard for me. I think he's really good. Granted, 2 losses, 1 in the UFC, 1 on Contender Series. 1 was on short notice against Evan Elder, which, I know Evan Elder is not like a household name yet, but like, man, that dude is tough as nails too. And so like short notice against Evan Elder was one of them. And then the other one was on the Contender Series. I think that one might have been a replacement fight too against Keelan Salkeld. And like those 2 guys are nasty and like couldn't get any of his, like that was not a situation where he would want to grapple with either of them. But he's like kind of got a sneaky good wrestling game. He's got good power. He's got good forward pressure. I think he's just more skilled, fast, can get around Maheshate. And like I've been really unimpressed with Maheshate in like his last 3 or 4 fights. So I think Gage Young is we're getting reasonable odds on him pretty much just because, he's had really tough competition in the 2 fights that most people have seen.
Yeah, Maheshate, we're not impressed with your performances, so I'm taking Gage Young as well. I was trying to once again trying to find a reason, justified reason to take a dog here, but that's really it's probably not a good way to bet. Trying to find dogs, so don't force it. Take who you think's going to win. I think Young's going to win. So G Money hopefully will bring us in the money. All right, let's recap. We both have Young. We both have Kavanagh. I better lock you in. Almost didn't give you Kavanagh. We both have Kavanagh. Now they're taking Johnson's a horrible thing. I have Rongzhu. He has Hubbard. Then it's the team ride again. Pereira, Wilson, you, and Satybaldiev. All right, you're set for the first half of UFC Shanghai. We'll be in the Discord chatting it up. sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Discord. YouTube MMA Gambling Podcast. Thanks for the subscribers. We're up over 1,600 fairly recently, so thank you everyone there. YouTube, not YouTube, Twitter, SGPN MMA. Gumby runs that. He's at Gumby Vreeland. I'm at Jeff Fox Writer, at Jeff Fox Writer on Instagram as well. Check out my Substack. You can enter my free UFC Shanghai contest at moneymma.substack.com. We talked about it off the top. Top Turtle MMA. Tell the people who is on the show this week, other than Street Buddha.
Yeah, we got Street Buddha, Don Marfan, and the aforementioned Gage Young, who's fighting on the main event of these prelims.
Should be a fun one. Haven't listened yet. Should be a fun episode. And of course, sportsgamblingpodcast.com, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/store, sportsgamblingpodcast.com/Patreon. I think it's my turn to bid you farewell. We've done so many episodes, I don't know. We're just going to say it's mine. I'll see you tomorrow. Thud, Fox, G Money. G stands for Gumby. We'll be there as well. We'll talk to you then. Adios.